Hey Tubetown. Hey, trimming brass cases is a pain in the ass. We all know it, and there's a lot of ways to do it. I'm going to show a video using some of Lee's products that are pretty good. Um, the method that I discovered here was using a drill press where instead of spinning the case, you actually spin the cutter. So you need to have a chuck that's big enough to lock in a cutter, a Lee cutter, and I grabbed the lock stud on the bottom with some vice grips because you can move it around a little bit, and that's important because believe it or not, the flash holes are not always dead center, and you have to work it a little bit to line the flash hole up with the guide pin at the end of the cutter pin. So the nice thing here is that the drill press does all the work. It pushes down hard on that, and you're not fighting something that's trying to spin out of your hand. So it's pretty cool, pretty fast, really precise. I like it. If I'm doing a small amount, that's what I'll do. I don't think I invented this idea. I figured it out myself. I think some other guys have come up with it. But I'm not about to patent it or anything like that, so no biggie. Anyway, the normal option that's proposed by Lee is spin the case. So I just chuck it into a variable speed drill on a rheostat. I put a plug in there so the pin could bottom out, and you just jam the Lee cutter right into it and hold on for dear life. I wear a glove because after 300 or 400 of these, your fingers get kind of raw. So I find I get a better grip with the gloves. But anyway, do a little bit of a camper on the inside, just a touch, and deburr the outside, and that's how it goes. Get a nice clean neck. This is something kind of cool. I'm going to show you something really better later, but this is the one-man power hand crank case trimming method. So you put it on your single stage press, and you can see this case is probably about 15 1,000ths too long for me, 5 1,000ths beyond the maximum 1.760 inches. So you drive the press up into it and you start cranking. You just crank like an old donkey windmill on 5 to 10 turns. You got a very precise cut. You know, the nice thing about this method is precision. Look at this. Right at 6 o'clock, 1.750 inches, exactly what I'm targeting for. And the cool thing is they're all exactly the same. Now check this out. It took Lee forever to come up with this idea. They take this hand crank that's kind of exhausting after 100 or two, and you just spin it counterclockwise when you lock the stem into the vise, and the thing comes unscrewed, but there's a little ball bearing, got away, sits on top of the spring. So you get this power stud adapter and you replace it, and lo and behold, it's got a 1/4 inch quick connect. What do you know? So instead of hand cranking it, you use your power drill. And so you put your trim die in there, the same one you use for the hand crank. You got to get the right size for your caliber of weapon. And you crank it down till the shell holder touches it firmly. Now you stick that cutter in there. Now the nice thing about the cutter is it campers and deburrs at the same time. So it's just a one-stop operation. You push the press up. You connect it to your drill. You could use an impactor like I'm using here, a regular cordless drill. You could use a corded drill. Just don't spin it too fast. That's the only thing I could tell you. So you can see clearly there that I don't know how to shoot movies, so you couldn't see where that was measured, but it was too long. Trust me on this. So look at this. Could do a few thousand turns where I could get 5 or 10 in the same amount of time. This thing could spin off a bunch of turns, and what? It's perfect. Not even breaking a sweat. I don't know what took Lee so long to come up with this, but you just be glad they did. So a power stud adapter, about 20 bucks. You got to blow this stuff out with air because, you know, obviously there's a lot of trimmings in there. I'd use my compressor with the regular air gun attachment. And away you go. But here's the cool thing. Check out the rhythm here. Trim. Trim. See, beats locking the damn thing in, spinning it, using a lawnmower pull handle method, using a case trimmer. This is a heck of a lot faster. I mean, I could burn through. I used to dread trimming cases. It was the most labor intensive part of it, and probably still is, but man, this thing makes it so easy. I use an impactor, but you could use regular variable speed drill of any sort. It works just fine. Now we go back to the old classic Lee method where you chuck it into the lock stud. Takes forever. Hard to crank it down securely. And then you drop the lead cutter in, give it a few spins, and annoy your neighbors. And your dogs. And your wife. And they use the cheap old Lee deburring tool and the camper tool. Kind of cheap, but it works. I shouldn't really diss them. You know, it's their whole concept is to be economical, and they've done a good job of that. And I'll tell you what, it works just fine. You know, if you want, you can invest in a Lyman case prep tool that you could also use to clear military crimps from the primer pocket. Pretty handy thing. That's a different video, but anyway, yeah, it takes about a half second. Just jam it into a spinning deburr, and there you go. Okay, tubers. Always be careful with your work. Think of the people you're shooting with. Think of your face and the rest of your life. So take that all into consideration when you're reloading ammunition, and have a blast. Late.